Now, if you've just bought a Mercedes and you're sat on the inside and you're looking at all the buttons, where on earth do you start? And most importantly, what buttons should you change and adjust? Hey guys, Nick O'Leary here, and today we're looking at just that, NTG 5.5, NTG 6 and NTG 7. In a nutshell, basically this is the latest version of COMAND, the one with the wheel and the touchpad. NTG 6 with MBUX and the Hey Mercedes is the one with the touchpad, and NTG 7 is the latest multimedia system, or the latest generation, that doesn't have a touchpad at all and is only touchscreen. And for the first round of features and settings I'd recommend, let's take a look at some parking sensor settings. Parking sensors. Now they're pretty much standard on new cars these days, which is great. However, Mercedes parking sensors are just a little bit different. And although they beep and of course give the visual element on the screen, they actually beep kind of last minute. Literally, they beep like almost that far away from the object, and you can change it if you didn't know. And it's only a couple of settings away. So all you do is just load up your home screen, go all the way across to settings on the far right hand side, click in here, find the assistance menu on the top here, then go to camera and parking, and then in here, look for the thing that says warn early all round. Make sure this is on, and then that way it's actually going to beep a lot further back, mimicking what the sensors are like at the rear of the car. So with this off, basically they're going to beep like that far away. When you have that on with warn early all round, it's going to beep a lot further back. And while you're here as well, there's a couple of extra settings you might want to change. Now with COMAND NTG 5.5 and MBUX, you can change the volume of the parking sensors. You can also do the pitch as well. If you're clever, you might be able to play a song with that. Joking aside, but that's of course how you can change the pitch. And there's another thing just underneath as well called maneuvering assistance. Basically, this is quite a clever feature. If you accidentally put the car into drive and there's like a wall in front of you or something like an object, it can actually slam on the brakes just to stop a crash. So let's have a look at some next features and settings that you might want to change. Up next, it's got to be the sat-nav, and first and foremost is the orientation of the sat-nav. Now certainly something I've noticed before every time I review Mercedes or work on tutorials and that sort of thing, you'll notice here that the sat-nav orientation is north up. Now I find this a little bit confusing, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well. I didn't study geography at school, and neither do I do any sailing or anything like that, so north up can be a little bit confusing. All you do is over on the left hand side of the screen there is almost like a compass, and it will probably say N or 2D or 3D. North up is N, so literally if you either select this using the touchpad or just press on the screen, press this and it will change to 3D, so that will then face the way you're going, and of course then you can zoom in and out if you wish, just like this, just by pinching fingers together, a bit like on a smartphone. When you zoom in on the photo, you just put two fingers together and zoom in. Now while we're on the sat-nav, there's another thing to make use of as well, which is off by default. So certainly I have it on 3D personally, but if you go to settings on the very bottom right hand corner of MBUX, then go to advanced, and then go to map orientation, but then what I also turn on is auto zoom. And what that does, it basically auto zooms in and out depending on your speed, which is quite useful. So if you're on a motorway doing 70 or something like that, it will zoom out so you can see further up the road on the map, but then when you slow down to take a turning off, it will zoom in so you can clearly see what turning you're meant to take. So pretty good, but you can of course turn that on and off. And make sure as well that while you're on this screen, scroll down the page and also do the instrument cluster view, which is over here, because yes, on some cars you can also put the map over here, either on the right dial or the center dial, and some cars can even do full screen as well on the instrument cluster, but that's how you adjust the orientation on the instrument cluster as well. Oh, and if you're lucky enough to have NTG 7, so that's the newest kind of generation multimedia system MBUX in Mercedes, that's the one without the touchpad, this new system can actually do a satellite map for your sat-nav. Now if you want to enable this, all you do on the very top here is go to Where To, then go to Settings on the bottom left, then tap on View, and then here you can see Satellite Map. Just toggle this on and then you can make use of a satellite map. This does run through Mercedes Me as far as I've seen, so make sure it's obviously connected to your Mercedes Me account in the first instance. Now just in case you don't have this latest version or latest generation of MBUX, don't worry, if you can make use of Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, use Google Maps, because that will also give you a satellite view as well. So guys, if you're loving today's content, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and of course make sure the bell is enabled next to it so that way you'll get a notification when I upload a new video. Anyway, without any further interruption, let's head down to the next one, which I believe is going to be some phone hidden settings and features that I'd recommend you change. Now, once you've got your phone connected in a Mercedes-Benz, the default settings are actually for the phone book, last name and then first name. Now, I call everyone by their first name, so actually I'd rather it be the other way around. And yes, you can change it in modern Mercedes. So just head to settings, roughly speaking, on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Then go over to contacts over on the left-hand side or something similar. Sometimes it might be under a thing called general. And then in here, you can change it to first name, surname instead of surname, first name. The only difference between the bottom two there is one has a comma. But yes, now I do prefer the first name, so I'm going to leave it on that one. Another thing you can enable as well is text messages. So yes, you can get text messages to come through. Now when you connect an Android, it'll actually ask for the PIN, so the little code that comes up when you connect for Bluetooth. So you just tap pair, and then you have one that asks for the phone book and then one for text messages. Nice and easy. iPhones though are slightly different. So once you've got your phone connected, it'll ask for the PIN and then it'll ask for the contacts, but it won't ask for the text messages. That's because it's hidden. And the way to find it is quite easy. So all you do is just go to settings on your phone, then go to Bluetooth, find MBUX in this list, and then tap on the I next to it, and then see the thing at the top that says show notifications. Just turn that on, and then the next time you get in the car, any text messages that come through will appear on the top, a bit like how you get text message on your phone. This next feature is by far my favourite feature out of the wall, and it is quite a simple thing. It's ambient light. So this was kind of introduced in, it was 2016 when it came out in the E-Class. So that was the one with the kind of double widescreen display. Now yes, I'm currently sat in an EQS with the hyper screens. It is massive. But the ambient light in this car is insane. Now yes, you can get ambient light in all sorts of other models as well, but this one just takes it to a whole new level. Not only is it the brightest, but it's also the one with all the cool effects and things that when you change the temperature, the kind of colours whiz around everywhere. It's probably easier that I show you, and apologies, it is daytime right now, so you might not see it as well, but I'll try my best. But yeah, let's flick it on. So all we do is just drag this up to 20. And here it is in the famous blue everyone always loves, according to you guys in the comments anyway. But yes, here's all the ambient lights. So if you go to colour, you can actually choose one of 64 colours, which is pretty cool. And then there's multicolour as well. So you can go on here and choose all sorts. You can have ultramarine, you see it's kind of like purple here, and it will, oh, it's actually going this way, so it will kind of go round this way. And I mentioned about the temperature. So if I get the air conditioning on, when you adjust your temperature, they kind of like pulsate blue as you lower the temperature. All the way around to the back as well, and make it warmer, and they go red. So cool. In fact, while I'm in this car, make sure that you're using the profiles. So even if it's just you, make sure you create a profile and have your name on there, because actually what the car will do is kind of recommend things to you. And this is especially important if you have the latest multimedia system NTG7. So that's the one without the touchpad in the middle. So it's just a touch screen. So if you want to do that, just tap on the little person on the top right hand corner, and then tap on either create profile, or in this case, because it's not even linked to Mercedes Me, so obviously it's must be brand new, just go activate Mercedes Me, and then on here you can scan the QR code that kind of looks just a bit like this. Now of course I will blur this out so you guys can't see it, but yeah, scan that, and then of course you can get it linked to Mercedes Me, and that'll actually create profiles on the car for you. But yes, make sure you use the profiles, because especially with this new multimedia system, it recommends loads of things to you on the kind of top and all the way down to the bottom as well. So yeah, definitely make sure you use your profiles. Now this feature I've seen on virtually all Mercedes-Benz, and it's a thing called acoustic lock. So this is found in your vehicle settings. So as a rule of thumb, covering all three multimedia systems that I'm kind of showing in this video, go on home and then vehicle settings, or home settings and then vehicle, somewhere along those lines, and you'll see the wording acoustic lock. And basically if you have that on, it'll do this. I think the horn's literally here, yeah, that is quite loud when you're next to it. But basically when you press the lock button, you can get a toot from the horn. So it has its pros and cons. You know, if you come home late at night, you may not want that because you let everyone know, all your neighbours know that you're home. But it can be quite useful if you're in a car park, and particularly a large car park. I've definitely been in a few in America before where the car parks are massive and you just might not know where your car is. So if you press the lock button, then of course you can hear it and kind of see the indicators flashing from a distance. So quite useful. But while we're on that topic as well, when you lock a Mercedes-Benz, you will get 3 flashes from the indicators. When you unlock it, you'll get 1 flash. Little tip there for you. Now let's move on to the next thing hidden in vehicle settings. Now active lane keeping assist is something that Mercedes-Benz have introduced over the past few years or so, as along with all car manufacturers. And it's a very clever safety system. But if you're watching this and thinking, I just want to switch it off, I urge you to check out exactly its limitations when it's active and the speed it's active first. So to see that, as it is kind of a video in itself, click on the pop-up banner up above to see that one, or there's a link in the description and the comment section down below as well, so you can check that one out. I take a car out on the road out around here and actually test it, go over white lines and things like that, just so you can see it. But yeah, click in the description down below and then you can see that video in its full depth and detail. Now for this next one, guys, this one is a couple of settings on your key. So if you didn't know, if you hold the unlock button, this will open up all your windows and open up the sunroof as well. Just in case it's really hot outside, you need to vent the interior. And of course, then if you hold lock again, that will then close, acoustic lock, that will then close all the windows and the sunroof back to how it was before. Now, not all cars can do this, so you kind of just have to check on a per car basis. But as a rule of thumb, pretty much any modern Mercedes can. I guess if it was older than a couple of years or so, then maybe it might have been only on keyless entry. So that's the one where you can unlock and lock it on the handle. Now, if you want to see more key tips and tricks, click this little pop-up here, as that one's going to take you straight to the key tips and tricks I made on Mercedes-Benz. Huge shout out to Sandown Mercedes as always, as they help provide access to all these awesome cars. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you soon.